I've made a lot of trips down to Costa Rica over the years, and each time that I'm down there, I spend a good amount of time photographing frogs and snakes and different reptiles and amphibians and stuff. And over the years, I had always used my macro lens, and it wasn't until probably about a year ago that I realized subconsciously I'd actually made a change to this. And I noticed as I was going back through some old trips that gradually, trip over trip, I was actually shooting less and less with the Canon 100mm f2.8 macro lens, and instead I actually started shooting a lot more with my 100-500. And I think the reason for this is, macro photography is great. It's very artistic, especially, you can get super close to the animals. You could show off tiny details like their eyes and things like that. So for me personally, it certainly has its place. However, even when you're shooting at like f11, like shots like this one, or even this one here, when you're that close, the depth of field is just super thin. And I found that I just liked more of the full body being in focus. And rather than that just super shallow depth of field, I just wanted that wide depth of field, put it that way. And to me, it just looked better. Now, obviously that's subjective. This is my personal opinion. And sure, you can do plenty of different things like focus stacking, things like that, basically to get more of the animal in focus. But admittedly, one, I'm lazy. Two, these animals, they don't sit still very long, so a lot of times they don't have the luxury of being able to shoot 5 to 10 photos to photo stack, sometimes even more depending how close you are. And what's great about the 100-500 is I off the top of my head, I think the minimum focus is something like 3 feet. So you're able to get super close to a lot of these animals. And on top of that, I do photograph a lot of venomous snakes. So those you actually don't even want to really be that close to. So that for me was my personal reason why I switched from shooting a lot of macro. And now I tend to favor my 100-500. If you've seen anything on my channel, I'm a big fan of that lens. And a lot of the video clips in this video as well are all just handheld video, even because that lens the IS is just phenomenal, and that allows me to kind of move around and do some different positions as I'm moving and filming and things like that. All of the clips and the photos that you saw in this video outside of the first 5 photographs where I talked about macro were all taken with the Canon 100-500mm lens. So to wrap up, that should kind of give you a good idea of what you're able to do and what that lens is capable of. And in full disclosure, I really just wanted to kind of show a lot of, as I was editing, I liked a lot of this footage and the photos that I had that have just been sitting on my computer for a while. And I think this format of kind of talking about, what I use, the gear that I use, or the process that I do, may help it get seen a little bit more rather than just showing wildlife clips. So hope you enjoy, and I hope to do more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.